People think, for example, they value love, but in reality, like, what does their love look like? Like, is me giving you this water bottle, is that love? Could it be?
Quench
What
of
situation
thirst.
are we in, right?
Yeah.
Or are we talking about deeper sort of sense of love? Like, it's a sexual relationship love, you know? So like you start like questioning it, but like you should really understand like what does it look like? Why does it mean like this to me, and how can I get it? You know? So like
It'll make everything easier.
yeah, it makes everything easier. And I think these conversations sort of like put you in that perspective, because when you don't talk about them and you're engaging in sort of like superficial conversations, which are fun and I love, like,
They're
trust me,
fun,
like you need to have
but they're
them.
not fulfilling.
There you go. Okay, so see, you're keeping me on the right track right now. Like, you know, like sometimes you just need to sit back, take a step back, and just think, you know, like what's going on here and what do I want going on here, kind of thing, you know. So it's interesting that you like say that you like to pick certain things from people. Like what would your like what do you think like the thing I can pick up from you would be? Like if you had to give me something.
What you'll take from me?
Yeah. It could be a joke, it could be advice. I'm so curious. Because I mean, you say you take it from others, but like now it's my time to turn.
Can I get back to you or answer you on the
Get
spot?
back to the community.
No.
To Isaro. I am a community.
I think you can. The takeaway from me is like to be open, you know, to be open, because everyone, we all represent 20 years of a lot of experience, background. We don't know what's going on with somebody. So to be open real quick, because honestly, we're a very judgmental society. First look, we already have an idea of how that person's gonna act, what they're gonna do. But it's until they like freaking do the opposite, then you're like, wow, like I didn't think you were gonna be like that, and I want to get to know you more because I'm interested. Because I know for me, a lot of people have told me, dang, I thought you were weird when I first met you. They thought I was like on something, like they thought I was on drugs. Because the laughter is too much, kind of. They thought I was weird. They thought I was annoying. But it wasn't until they got to know me, then they were like, dang, I love you, girl. Like, I always get that whole, like, I love you, like...
It's a real relationship.
Yeah, and it's just like, dang, if we had just been
real,
better in the beginning, more open.
It's hard to open
hard,
up.
though. I was just gonna say, it's very hard. You have to have the walls. You have to test that person. You have to see how far they're willing to jump for you, you know? Or are they gonna, like, because I know people have trust issues, dependability issues, responsibility
Definitely.
issues. But
these are the barriers I was telling you. Like, they block your values, you know?
But once you learn how to, like, let go, I guess how to be vulnerable and just hope for the best, then it can turn out to be good.
That's beautiful.
But it's hard to be vulnerable, though, because you know that person is holding it.
I think being vulnerable is like one of those things that it could take a lot of effort, but I think at the end of the day, it's for the better, better end result, right? Like, I think not being vulnerable can be actually harmful, you know, because a lot of people, like you can build walls, right? But like, you could also be obsessed with building walls, and then it sort of becomes this really big distance, and you start pushing everyone away, and you start pushing yourself away, because then you sort of like, you're resembling everything you don't want to others to see, you know? So like let's say I'm like building my walls, whatever, and then I'm coming across as to something that I'm not, and then I start sort of like having a fucking identity crisis, and I'm just like, what is this that I fucking made out of myself? Because it doesn't feel right, you know? I think that's a problem for a lot of people. And so it's hard to get on their same page because you don't know how much of a walk they feel, you know?
And it's important to be real with yourself too. It's okay. It's okay. I would say I'm a work in progress, which is true. I'm learning a lot from a lot of different people, especially when it's like arguments and stuff. Learning how to just hold your tongue, acknowledging when you're wrong.
Not taking things personally.
Exactly. Like the other day, someone was telling me a story, but then I kind of cut them off, and then they were like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything. It was okay. No names. I'm just going to say that I felt hurt. I'm like, wow, just tell me your story. I was actually really interested. But then I realized, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have cut the person off. Maybe, like, I was thinking about the things I did wrong and not placing blame firsthand on that other person. So, like, I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn because I obviously want to do better. Communication is very hard for me, especially when it's something serious and, like, when you have to be, like, honest with the person. like, look, you hurt me, you did me dirty, I don't appreciate it, blah blah blah. I don't like confrontation. I like to swoop, like go the other way. The way I like confront is by not, like cutting you off. Like I just don't talk. Like that's kind of bad, huh?
No. Like it sounds
Because I
familiar
don't want
to
to
me.
fight.
It sounds familiar to me.
I don't want to address it and open up the worms and stuff. I'd rather just like kind of not the cold shoulder, just do my own thing. Like, and then when I'm good again, I'll come back.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I just don't like to fight. But you gotta learn how to fight, but not go just to like
Right.
you know talk about it. Because if you don't, then it's not.
Learn how to fight to resolve things.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my own criticism of myself.
Wow.
That's real.
Cool. It's cool. No, it's cool how you can criticize yourself, because I think a lot of the times, I think our biggest, like most people's weaknesses is not owning up to like our own flaws or mistakes. Or
Oh,
I think
no.
when you see what you need to work on, that's a real work in progress, because then you sort of start setting goals to yourself and you start sort of, you know, growing from it versus, you know, being stubborn and just sort of being stuck, like you're stagnant, like you're just there, you know, you're
And you
oppressed.
plateau. No change.
There's
Nothing.
no change, yeah.
And life is all about change. Really, if you're not ready to change, it's ready to change. Like, and things happen. Things happen.
This is like the most on point conversation I've had in a while. Like, with maybe you have these conversations, David, but like yeah.
This is what I like. Honestly,
This is what I aim for.
I think
Like, I
about
want
this.
this from people.
no, I'm having these combos with myself. That's the problem. I need to start. I
That's
need to
not
start
the problem though. Like, you need to let those out so that I can learn from this. Because the interesting thing is that another cool thing about also how you said you know, like the progress thing is also like just for me, like one cool thing I guess you could take out from me is sort of like, what's the quote? I'm trying to remember it. Oh.
I don't want the water to get on you.
Oh, it's cool. I'll move down here actually. So the quote is like, life begins at the end of your comfort zone,
Oh, that's real.
right? So
That's real.
So I guess if you could take something from me is that I like to do that to myself a lot. Like,
That's good.
I think 2 years from now, like had you met me,
2 years from now, if I met you senior year.
no, 2 years ago. Actually.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
2 years ago. Thank you for cleaning that up. Had you met me 2 years ago, you would have seen a whole different person. A whole different person. And I think still, like, maybe 2 years from now, like, you'll see maybe a big difference. But I think I've
Oh,
taken such a
yeah.
big leap, like, such a huge sort of, like, change because of that. Because I sort of started seeing that perspective, you know, like, it's always so, like, okay to just stick to, like, what you know, what you sort of like, what you're comfortable with.
Right?
Yeah.
But nothing happens.
Nothing's gonna happen. And then
You don't grow.
exactly. And then it's sort of like this thing where like sometimes the things that we do like, we like because we've been sort of been assigned to them. Like, think about it. Like, you grew
Yeah.
up in a household and you're, for example, like me, like this is like the most superficial example I can give you, but like my face. So for like the longest time of my life, I was like, ew, fish is disgusting, because I've always heard it from my dad. And then I start thinking like, dude, I actually like fish. Like, fish is okay, fish is good. And I started eating fish more and more, and then I sort of realized like, okay, like I had this mentality because I've been put in this position. And you know, like that's the most superficial sort of example I can give you.
Oh, yeah.
But when you start testing your limits or your sort of like interest in like anything, yeah, I think you start really discovering what you are more about than what you're not more about, you know, like kind of situation. I don't know, like I feel like such a different person, like from high school till now,
Oh yeah, of course.
you know. Like I'm sure most of us do, but I think the people who have not made that effort to exist outside of their comfort zones, I think are the people that maybe feel indifferent like about like their change and maybe
or
haven't grown
where they are.
at all,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So I guess to me, like that's one thing I guess you can take from me. Like I think I would advise you to live outside of your comfort zone, because life starts at the end of the comfort zone. So you gotta start living.